आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है इन प्ले राइट ऑटोमेशन सीरीज पार्ट 1। So guys, today from now onwards we are going to start a new playwright automation series wherein we will be discussing each and everything in a very detailed and step by step manner. Okay, so don't get confused that why this topic is being raised first, why not another topic, why not this concept should be treated first or should be taught first. Just please be with me, have some patience, and very soon you will be able to understand. I hope you guys have seen some Netflix movies, right, wherein the series simply start or the movie starts with a murder, but at the end, by the time that series ends or that movie ends, we are able to connect each and every dots. So please trust the process, and very soon I'll connect each and everything. But from now onwards, from today onwards, let's first try to understand the very very basic and the very very simple concept, that is async and await. I don't know why this topic has been given so much of importance, although it is not very much technical. There is no technicality involved over here, right? But for people who want to learn automation, you need to have some very basic understanding, and I'm going to give only basic understanding over here. As soon as we quickly we progress upon, we do the some automation stuff, we start automating the test cases, I'll quickly give you a clear cut glimpse of what things are all about, right? But at this point in time, let's start by writing our very first test case in Playwright. So in order to write your first test case in Playwright, the only thing you need to do is that you need to import one annotation from this Playwright module. So I have written something. I hope it has not made sense. And that is fine. That is really fine if it is not making any sense. Let's come over here to the VS Code Playwright. I have already integrated. I'll again launch a separate video for it, like how to reach to this particular step. And even after reaching this particular step, I am still not explaining all these things, what these are, the configuration files, what this package.json does. At the correct time, I'll let you know. At the correct time, at the correct moment, on the fly, I'll be telling you the real importance. As of now, just ignore everything. So the only thing we need to remember is that if we want to write a particular test case, let's say if we want to log in into an Amazon website, Flipkart website, we need to access a CNN URL, any URL if you want to access. Or let's say if you want to write any test case which is related to web automation, you need to go over here, right? Simply click on it and create a particular file. Let's say the name of the file is uh, automation uh, concept 1, let's say dot spec you need to write, and dot js. Okay, so the very first thing, in order to write a particular test case, right, what are the prerequisite for that? For that, at least you should need to have some idea onto your mind, like what your test case is all about. If I talk about the manual test case part, what happens in your manual test case, you simply go and you write like a test case one kind of stuff, and then you give the description that to validate the the schema, let's say to validate schema validation for JSON, let's say the way we used to do in your API testing, right? So this is your test case ID you give, and then you had to pass this particular parameter into your Jira or a X-ray tool, whatever it may be, and then you need to write all the steps. Okay, those who know, or those who have already done Java Selenium little bit automation, they know what I'm up to. But over here, even before you write a particular test case, that test case is known by an annotation named as test annotation. So this is your test annotation, right? And you need to import it from this Playwright module. So what this module is all about, do not think any other thing, just simply think in your mind it as in the form of a jar file, right? You just need to import this jar file so that you can make use of this particular annotation or methods inside this just annotation, or whatever it may be. In Java, let's say there was java.util, right? So from this particular jar file, we were making use of various methods. If you have imported Selenium WebDriver, or you have configured the Selenium API to your automation framework, you are able to make use of WebDriver, some certain kind of functions, right? So it is just the same thing, but the way it is written in a little bit a different way. For that, you need to make use of this keyword like require, and over here you need to make use of this playwright at test. So what it is all about, what it is saying that it is inside a node module, and it contains the module named as playwright slash test. And once you import this particular jar file, I'm just making use of simple terms. You need to import this jar files. I'll explain later on the technicalities, but let's say I have imported this jar file so that I can make use of an annotation named as test annotation, and allow me to save it. Let's say, okay, I am just saving it into the form of a constant. So this jar file has been imported. Once this jar file has been imported, now we can write the test cases, because for writing the test case, this test annotation is required, kind of stuff, right? Just leave it at this point in time. Okay, so now what is going to happen over here, you have to pass two parameters. First, the description of your test case, and then a function is need to be passed over here. Okay, so this function is written like this, and this is all. So this is the way we are going to write our test cases. Either you can put it into this way, you can, right? So you can give a meaningful name, right, to validate the login functionality. Okay, so this is the basic structure, and this is this basic a framework of how this particular uh, test case can be written. I have just increased the font size. So if you need to write a test case, you need to make sure that this jar file should be imported. I'm again deliberately making use of this particular word jar, so that if you are able to understand those who are coming from quickly, those who are just migrated from let's say C sharp, or C sharp, people already know, let's say who are coming from the Java background, I'm making it easier for them. Okay, so this jar file has been let's say imported over here, and now since this file is imported, jar file is there, now we can make use of this test annotation, in which we are going to write some form of code over here, right? My entire testing logic will be written over here. So how I'm going to write the test case and what are going to be my steps, we'll discuss later on. But this is what the first thing that was required to be discussed over here. And the test case will be getting created as below, as I've already told you, right? I hope till now I have made some sense, so that you guys are able to understand. Again, I'm reiterating because this is the first lecture. If you want to create a test case where you want to simply run your test case in Playwright, let's say you will be willing to launch a browser, launch a particular URL, navigate to a page, click somewhere, so that needs to be written over here. Okay, I'll compare the Java framework and Playwright as well, but those who have first come for the first time, let's forget Java as well. This is how it is working, and it will be working, right? So allow me to delete it. Now, even before you write your test cases, there are some two things that we need to understand, and which is very important. Uh, it is not very technical, but it is easy. You need to just take care of this onto your mind. So I've written over here is that JavaScript, it is asynchronous. Okay, and there are some processes that are synchronous. So what I mean by synchronous and asynchronous, see what happens in asynchronous. If you are able to, if you have already made the guess over here with these two images that I have jotted down, what is happening over here, there are thousands of people, let's say, trying to access this particular light element at the same time, at the same place, at the same time, and let's say with the same intensity as well. So what is going to happen, everybody wants to reach over here and collect this particular source of light, everyone at the same time. 500 people do want to do the same thing at the same time for their own purpose. He wants to gain this light, let's say he wants to perform an astral travel, he wants to go to this particular light so that he can take it back to the home. He and she wants to come over here so that they can go to a different portal, like Doctor Strange kind of movies. So, and everybody wants to do their, run their own thread, run their own process concurrently, that too at the same time. If we talk about in terms of Java, or sorry, in terms of a bit technical, so this is a concurrent process. Every thread is trying to access resources at the same time, let's say. But what happens in a synchronous process? There is a particular step-by-step manner. So in synchronous process, let's say hiring is a synchronous process, right? First of all, you will go and you will give, a first round of interview. After interview, you will be having a technical round of interview. After your technical round of interview, you will be having a discussion with HR, that is for the, let's say, salary negotiation. And after that, you will be getting the offer letter. This is a synchronous process. Can it happen that, tomorrow you get, your first round is your salary negotiation, let's say? No, let's say your first round is that already offer letter has been given to you. After giving the offer letter, let's say they discuss that we gave you this salary, now we want to give you this amount of salary. Okay. And then your rounds go. First, normal uh, round, and then goes your technical round. So this kind of thing will is called asynchronous. But your normal process in your daily life, let's say what I have already told, that your HR process, once a hiring starts, is like a synchronous process. There is a halt in each and every step, and this step is the outcome of this particular step. Okay, that is step 1 will happen, then step 2 will happen, then step 3, and step 4. So I hope I have made sense, and this is the only simple concept of async and await. I don't know why people are making so much confusion and fuss about it. So this is very simple if you try to understand everything from normal science or your normal day-to-day life. So asynchronicity is where every thread or every people or every process wants to run or to gain access to some resource at the same time. But in synchronous process, the things are done in a very sequential manner. Okay. So in JavaScript, what happens, if you there is a concept of await and async, right? So what is going to happen, let's say you have written go to a landing page. Let's say you have gone to the landing page. Sorry, I'm just writing some basic scenarios. And once you go to the landing page, uh, you click on an item, you add to cart, and once you add to cart, then what will happen? uh, you will make a purchase. So this is the basic scenario. But what will happen if we do not apply a weight to each and every step? Now what will is going to happen, that add to cart will immediately start to happen. At the same time, purchase is happening even before we have gone to the landing page. So uh, you know uh, crisscross communication kind of thing is happening over here, if you are getting confused. So it can happen at its own time, it will happen in its own time. Nobody is going to wait for everyone, right? Let's say if you have 5 children and you go make them send to the park, everybody will start playing on their own. But if there is a grandfather kind of stuff, he will say no, first you wait, the smaller child will go, then you also wait, then a bigger child will go. So a wait is will simply make a halt to each and every step, so that outcome of this step goes as an input to the next step, right? So this is what is all about, the concept of async and await. How we are going to achieve it, how we are going to achieve in an automation, how to open a page, we are going to just discuss it very soon in our next lectures. But onto this lecture, the scope is limited to the and to understanding the concept of async and await. I hope I have made some sense, we are able to understand. And if an await is written over here, then it means that it is going to be an asynchronous function, right? So these two words go hand in hand, these two keywords. If you have written async, or if you have written await, then you have to apply async. Otherwise it's gonna make no meaning. There would be no meaning. Why there would be no meaning, in which scenario there would be no meaning, we will do each and everything. But at this point in time, this is the scope. So in order to write a particular test case, just add a particular framework, import this jar file, write your name, sorry, what you want to verify the functionality, and there is a function. And this function, we will be writing all our entire logic. Let's say we want to validate the login functionality, so the entire login code will be over here. Okay, so now we are taking very small baby steps. Please do not compare it with your automation framework, that in my framework it is happening, in your framework it may be happening, but we are starting from the very basic. For a person who does not know anything, please try to think from his or her feelings or an emotional point of view. So rather than going fast, let's learn it in a faster way. Okay. And team and everybody, please let me know in case any concept is not clear. Okay. So everybody, thank you for your time and thanks a lot for your patience. Thank you.